I'm sure you know the phrase model minority. And I think in Alberta, it's fair to say that for better or worse, Filipino-Albertans have sort of fit that model minority stereotype.
Hmm.
So it was, I confess, a shock to me during COVID-19 to see in my inbox and on social media a really ugly backlash against Filipino Canadians because they had a higher than average rate of COVID infection, which was, of course, because they were, in many cases, doing jobs that put them on the front lines of the pandemic. Uh, but I have to admit, I was really taken aback at the degree of vitriol. And I wondered what it was like for you to see that, perhaps really for the first time.
Yeah, I think what it really showed, and because I do food systems work, was a huge gap in our food system, because the jobs that Filipinos have when they come to Canada are, those janitorial jobs like my grandfather had, working at Cargill, food processing, working in tight quarters, working for minimum wage. And I think we didn't really see that before. We didn't really see the exposure of working conditions for one of the fastest growing populations in Alberta. And now that we did, and that was under a microscope, what was also under a microscope was their living conditions. We don't pay Filipinos enough to buy houses where, like, myself and my husband can live just the two of us. It hasn't changed for years. I remember living when we were kids with two aunts and an uncle, because they just didn't have the money to go and get their own places. That wasn't a thing. And so growing up in a large family is not only familiar and sometimes wanted, but it also isn't an option. And so when you have a pandemic and their response is, well, why are they all living together? Like, why are they always seeing each other? Why are the cases so high? That's the culture that, one, is familiar, and two, that we've set up for them. And so the vitriol and all of those things that were happening was completely unfair and unfounded, and sort of really maddening, but also I think helped a little bit. It helped people see the actual truth of what was happening behind the scenes that we just didn't see before. And I don't think Alberta is a special case to that. I think many immigrants that come have to take these types of jobs, and they're forced into situations that aren't pandemic friendly, if you can call it that.